Welcome to New
I'm gonna write a
Celebrating New
poem. I
Poets.
think I'm gonna write a poem about he and we, me and we.
Me and we.
Yeah.
Go ahead, knock yourself out. Um, yeah. So I guess you'll get an email explanation of this as soon as Raven sends one to me. I'll let you know.
All right.
But here we are.
And it's good to see you.
It is good. It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
And I've been writing because it's good for me.
Oh, good.
Oh,
good
man,
for me
you might as
too.
well take over the whole show, Bobby, because that's my ending right there.
I know. Well, that's what you said when we closed. It's good for you. So
I know.
I'll do anything that's good for me.
There you go.
Oh, really? That's not
There-
what I heard.
Oh. Well, you're talking to the wrong people then.
Obviously. Yeah.
I think I missed something, but I'm just
No, you didn't. We're just funning.
okay.
Okay, who's going to start?
Yeah, good question.
I think it's Dell's turn to start.
All right. Well, I have a couple that I worked on this morning because I knew I had to have poems today. So it's not like I waited to the last minute, but luckily I had some thoughts this morning. So this hasn't really been reworked. It's kind of rough, but anyway, I call it news break. The news is more than I can take. It winds me up and makes me ache. For floods, fire, guns, and carnage, I have no more tears to cry. For hateful rants and slinging mud, hurtful lies from political thugs. On all of this, I'm pulling the plug. I need a rest from death and loss. I need a break to replace what's lost all around me. Last night, I went to a silly play. The plot obvious, the dialogue light. About a China rabbit who didn't know how to love. He suffered and was thrown away. It took lots of trauma and time and thought, but in the end, love saved him. I don't know when I will return to the news. For now, those channels are on permanent snooze. Today, I am pursuing joy. In cello suites by Yo-Yo Ma. In pulling weeds, watering ferns, writing lines of poetry, grateful for my life of love and peace. I don't know what's wrong with our news today, but I will think of it again some other day.
Pretty deep.
What a great poem, especially from someone living on Maui.
Oh, it's
gosh,
really overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's really overwhelming. And when I went to that play last night, I saw people from my acting class, people of my little circle of friends that I haven't seen since before the thing.
Wow.
And there was just a lot of emotion going on. So it's a good thing that the play was light, and I think it was good for the audience. But the daily news here is just a body count and emergency stuff, and it's pretty dismal.
Yeah,
But anyway, so much for that.
Fortunate to get, I guess it was an email from a couple of people that I know in Maui declaring themselves safe. Because I hadn't heard from either one of them. I contacted them immediately, and it was like a couple of days before I heard from them. So that was tight. Yeah.
I can barely hear you, Gary. Are you on speakerphone or whatever you do to make it louder?
I don't know.
He's gonna push another button.
Oh.
No.
No, that sounds
no,
better.
no,
I can hear
no.
you better. You moved up.
Oh, I am moving the mouse around, but that's only because I'm nervous. Maybe I'm just not talking loud enough.
No, you're louder now. You got up closer, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. That's better.
I guess you can't really relax, kind of like being on stage. You can't really relax, it's like and be just your regular voice because it won't work. Um, anyway, that doesn't mean I'm going to go next, but I would, Bobby, if you want.
Well, I think it's your turn to go second. You're always last.
I kind of like that, but you know what? I am today at this point in time, I'm ready to try anything. So
All
Right,
here it
go
goes.
for it.
Let's hear your poem then.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you.
All right. Brain mites,
Wow.
lightning bugs, brain mites, creatures too light to go bump in the night. What are they? Why are they? And why do they come to me late at night before my first letting go? And early morning, too, and after long entangled dreams. Like tiny dancers with their tiny voices. We know you have doubts, they say to me. Here's something for you. We know you have fears, they say. Here's something for you. We know you're seeking solace. Sorry, none to give, they say to me. Airborne creatures having sport with me? Catch us if you can. Oh, you miss me. Miss me again and I'll be gone. Oh, you're starting to forget, they say to me. They know I'm bound to chase them. They know I might get lucky, a quick and stealthy snatch, and out pops a poem. Do they fear I want to present them like lightning bugs in a jar, or press them like a bouquet of exhausted flowers, or smother them inside a musty book? They seem to say to me, if you live long enough, if you try hard enough, you might capture more than we're inclined to give. Do they want me to help them, to save them, to preserve their tiny identities? I know about the ones I catch and the ones that get away, but do either ever come again? Are they subject to the pull of my imagination, or free as the breeze they seem to float on? I have faith they will come again, faith I will capture some, but have I lost too many to keep the game alive? Is anybody keeping score? Is it?
Uh,
No.
I love the poem, but I loved the title. That title is a poem in itself.
Well, it's all about inspiration. That's I should call it my inspiration poem, but I agree with you. Brain mites is the way to go. But
It's nice. It's catchy.
the whole thing is like the idea is you wake up in the middle of the night with, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I know it's a good idea. I want to run with it. I don't necessarily want to get up and work, but how do I hold on to it? And I may have told you this story. I'll run out to the computer. By the time I get the computer and I get a word up, I've forgotten it or half of it. So
Right? Pick up your phone and give yourself a note verbally.
well, I have it. It's called Brain Toss.
Oh.
And it's on my phone, and all I do is hit it and I start talking. So
Oh.
the phone is next to the bed. So I just reach over, boy, hit the Brain Toss, and boom.
Wow. That's an app you have, Brain Toss?
Yes.
Ah. I'll have to look for that. I have to go into my notes and then hit where it verbally records.
What it will do is that it will send it to my email. So I don't have to write anything down.
Oh, that's catchy.
I can get up the next day and go to it, and it says brain. It just tells me that I got a message from Brain Toss, And there
And
there
what
it
was
is.
the app again?
Brain toss.
Brain Toss.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try and remember that. I might be texting you and asking you to remind me what it was, but
I'd be
I
happy
like that.
to. I got it
Brain,
from Raven, you know. It's,
Brain Toss. Good.
yeah. And it's
Well,
really,
is it my turn?
yeah.
Yes, it's your turn, and we want to hear those love poems.
Well, there's a couple. Yeah, I think I'll do the poem I wrote for our anniversary first. And then there's another poem I wrote called Memories. And I wrote a story for my kids this month that really got me thinking about memories and where they're stored and how they come to us. And so I'll read that one if we have time for the second one. But this first one, it made Carol cry. So
Good sign.
I guess
Yeah.
it
Gotta be
was a
good.
good one. It was our we met 1 year ago at the read-through. Remember the read-through,
Oh yeah.
Dale?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't
I
there.
was
Yeah,
at
I was
the
there.
read-through. Dale was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was August 17th.
Mhm.
And so we just met. We were just friends and fellow actors at that time, but things evolved. So this is a poem I'm calling A Boy and a Girl by he. And you'll understand why I'm saying by he when I get to the end. A happen chance meeting of a boy and a girl just happens to blossom like a grain of sand to a pearl. The roles in scene one of a cute, funny play went from fantasy to real time in 23 short days. That kiss, the first one, inside her front door. Oh, wow, 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 damn. Made them both long for more. And the more became frequent, like whenever they'd meet on their dates in the car, even out on the street. He asked her to go steady, but he had no class ring. But the smiles on their faces, everybody knows they're a thing. A happen chance meeting that was not supposed to be became something precious between he and she.
How sweet.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's
It
really
is.
good.
So the wow, 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 and damn.
Yeah.
After that first kiss, I told her the next day, I said, I drove home that night just going, wow, wow, wow. And she said, I went to bed that night going, damn, damn. So that's where those lines came from. And I did ask her to go steady because when we first thought we might be interested in each other, I said, I'm not looking to get married again. I'm not looking to live with anybody. I just want someone to go steady with. So when I decided I would ask her to go steady, I thought, well, I need a class ring, but I don't have one. So I went to Goodwill and found a glass ring. So I gave her a glass ring, and she wears it every once in a while on a necklace, but not all the time because it's a pretty goofy ring. But anyway, it was 23 short days that all of a sudden we weren't acting anymore, but we were right. It was real time, right up there on that bed. We were on the bed for a mustache and a mattress. So anyway, that's the poem I wrote her for our anniversary dinner. So
That's a good one. Well, see, now you'll have to write one
Bobby.
every year.
You did good.
I know. I will. Well, you guys got me writing poems all the time now. So
That's good.
maybe I'll have
Ah,
another
there
next
you
year.
go. There you go.
That's good.
Okay, it's Dale's turn.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got another one here. I sent this to you, Gary, but I don't think I read this. So it's called Connections to Good People. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, because I just got up this morning
Because you just
to read
read
the
it.
rest of your poems that you sent
Oh,
me,
okay, all right.
because
All
I'd
right,
only read a couple,
Okay,
but I
this
read
is
them all,
connection.
so.
This is connections to good people. Who's allowed inside my circle? Who has access to my soul? Who listens to my stories? Who warms me when I'm cold? I have suffered from not knowing who is honest, who is not, who pretends to find me witty, but who merely plays a part. The act of feigning friendship until tiring of the plot. Those who bring me bags of worries, those who question my routines, those who pace around my quiet place and turn it into gloom. The space around my spirit is limited to few. I do not seek an audience, as many others do. Connection to good people is all I really need. The fact that I now know this saves me grief and sets me free.
Wow, good poem.
Yeah. You guys are, you brought your A games today, man.
Well,
I'm starting to feel like, dang, maybe I should have dug a little deeper here, you know? But I love it.
No, I loved your last one.
It's,
And I'm looking forward to your next one.
it's a beautiful thing, though, this that we have going. It's just a matter of trying to get some more people. Well, I'll save this for the end of the meeting, as it were. By this, I think it's my turn, right?
Yes, it is your turn.
Yeah.
All right.
You're second.
Can you hear? I'm second. Okay. I call this one Girl in a Swing. The reason I say that is that I have this bad habit. I will change the titles of my poems just willy-nilly sometimes, you know? It's like, so in my latest book, I changed the titles of about 5 of my poems because they were older. It's just they were ones that I really liked, you know? And then I wonder why I can't find anything, you know? So, okay, this is called Girl in a Swing. When I was very young and very lonely, God sent me an imaginary playmate, a lithe and slender girl, inquisitive but kind, somehow wise beyond her years. Often in the long hours before supper, she would come to play with me. She would share my old tire swing and tell the most amazing stories. I never said a lot myself, but she seemed to know me nonetheless. So we would swing and talk, and sometimes run off into the woods looking for adventure. This imaginary girl grew into a real woman, and God brought us together once again, this time to help each other through our grieving. I for a beloved partner, she for a beloved mother. We helped each other as best we could. We even fell in love. Yet, following suit of our younger selves, over time, we found ways to let each other go. Even so, I just can't shake the feeling that someday we might reunite, God willing, and we might help each other one more time in finding grace in either of us dying.
That's very
Good.
deep.
Very
Wow.
good.
Yeah, very deep. Yeah, I don't remember that one in your books at all. Is that newer?
You are correct. I'm pretty sure it's not new, but
Yeah.
it's also not in one of my books.
Yeah, yeah. I would have remembered it. That's a good
Uh,
poem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've enjoyed all of your poems today. You've touched me, both of you.
I brought my A game just like you guys
You
did.
did. You did. We got to keep you in that second place at all times.
Okay, Bobby. Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
So the anniversary brought on that last poem, but I think I've told you before that I've been writing stories for my kids because they want stories, and I have 40
Memories,
questions that I'm answering. My question this week was, where was the favorite place that you lived when we were kids? And where was the favorite place that you lived as a kid? And so it brought up a lot of memories, which I told them it's going to be really hard to pick a favorite place because I always have seen life as making memories. And so wherever they were, I was making memories. But I did pick a place that all 6 of them had roots in. So anyway, I wrote that story and then wrote this poem called Memories. And Carol shows up in this poem too. That's why I told you I was being mushy and gushy. But I found this great graphic for it too. It's an old man sitting on a bench looking backwards. And the title of the poem is Memories. These days, I tend to look backwards. Oh, not because I long for days gone by, but there are memories back there that I treasure. As I reflect, they bring a tear to my eye. Oh, I'm making new memories in the present. There's still moments in time that touch me that way, like the day that she stopped by with a fritter. We held hands, then we kissed and parted ways. Memories aren't data recorded, rather treasures laid up in the heart, and they stay there, they lay there forever till you look back. Then the memories, they start. So
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I like the way I like the rhythm of that a lot. How did that line go? They lay there, they stay there.
yeah, that's I told you, Gary, when I wrote that little thing about my son that passed away, and you were telling me that poems don't need to rhyme, but I'm finding that I really like it when they do.
Yeah.
And so this one keeps rhyming all the way through, but I love that line. Memories aren't data recorded, rather treasures laid up in the heart. They lay there, they stay there forever till you look back.
That whole thing, everything you just read has just got a beautiful rhythm to it.
Yeah.
I love that. And you can have a rhythm whether you have rhyme or not, but I think it kind of helps to punctuate.
Well, I was writing poems without that rhyming, but now I find myself trying to rhyme everything. So
funny how that happens, huh? And it seems to just happen.
Yeah.
And I found a great little app for words that rhyme with garment for songwriters. And so I type in garment and there's words there that so.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have to carry around that big thesaurus. Now we can just go online. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the 2 that I wrote for this particular podcast. So
good.
Beautiful. Now, what is anybody keeping time? I have a phone.
2:40.
2:40. Okay, good. I came in, I guess, loaded for bear this time. I brought 4.
Oh wow.
Well, I didn't know, how long we're gonna have. So
well, we probably do. You have another one, Dale?
I do have one that's like unfinished that I'm looking for an ending for.
Well, don't we have time for yours and his, one of his?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
I don't have any more, so
okay.
I could read an old one.
You did good, Bobby, and you could read an old one, but you did good.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll read this one then because it's not very long. And I would appreciate it. And it drops off at the end. And I'm looking for a wrap up. So keep that in mind when we get there. I call this Doors or Windows. Take your pick. Doors versus windows. Doors take you places. Windows show you views. Doors must be opened. Windows you merely look through. You have to push a door. It takes effort to even start. A window keeps you hidden. No commitment, no reaching out. You can keep all doors bolted, never seeing the other side. You may call it safety, but why fear something you've never tried? Turn the doorknob gently. Take the trails that wind uphill. Don't stop until you find one that, and that's where I ran out of inspiration. But I'll work on that one and bring it back.
You
All right.
do that and send it to me.
Now I got a commitment. Oh,
Well, I'm just so, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you
I'm
remember,
working on
I'm still working on my biped baby, you know.
the famous biped baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe I might change the title, but
I find that very sexist, Gary. I got to tell you. Yeah.
well, I thought it was. It just has no ending. Well, it's not the ending. It's the beginning. You know.
Yeah.
I just can't jump into it. Anyway, that's not the worst thing that ever happened to me.
No. So go ahead.
Okay. This one, at least now, it's called On That Day. If I read it 6 months from now, might have a different title. I don't. On the day that I pass over, I will not rage against the dying of the light, but I do wonder what will happen, how it will feel entering the void of peace. I cannot answer where I'm going. I might not recognize it when I get there, or remember that I've lived before. But on that day, I will know full well where I have been, how I have shown up. On that day, I will have no age, no limitations, no cares for tomorrow. On that day, I will be somebody's dad, somebody's grandfather, somebody's friend, somebody's lover, either past or in the wings, somebody's favorite poet. On that day, I will be clothed in grace and loved by my Creator, the giver of all life, the author of my next chapter.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially the favorite poet part.
I like that. I like that line myself, you know.
Yeah.
I had to throw it in there, you know. I mean,
Of course.
everybody's got a favorite, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, I've got another one. I said I didn't, but I may have read this before, but it's my favorite poem that I ever
that is
wrote.
allowed.
I have memorized it so I can quote it to people who are getting in my business, and I have. I've done it. But I got the idea from it because my niece's daughter, Riley, took a picture. She was laying in a pasture and a bunch of cows were closing in on her. And she took a picture of one with their big nose right in her face. So that's the graphic, is a big cow nose. And the name of the poem is called Nosy. There's many a place that a nose could. Now remember, if somebody's getting in my business, this is what comes back at them. There's many a place that a nose. There's many a place that a nose could be, but in my business, not in the top 3. So remove your nose from out of my space. It pilfers the room I conserve for grace.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is
You got to
good.
remember it though. You have to remember.
I've got that one committed to memory so I can recite it to people who are getting in my business. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. What are we looking at on time?
We're at 2:45 now.
Okay, I got another one real quick.
Well, we've got time.
It's called Beautiful Woman. If only I had known I was a beautiful child. No one ever told me, not a hint, not a single word was said. So I continued my role, trudging along as a two-headed, wart-covered toad, until I tripped over a mirror and broke into a smile.
You can read that again.
Okay. If only I had known I was a beautiful child. No one ever told me, not a hint, not a single word was said. So I continued my role, trudging along as a two-headed, wart-covered toad, until I tripped over a mirror and broke into a smile.
That is very good.
Actually,
I think that's my favorite one that you've done today.
Well, thank you.
The ending just wraps it all up. I mean, it's like the last line. Oh my
And that's all about raising your children with self-esteem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great poem.
yeah.
I like that line. How did you come up with that line? The mirror thing.
They just come to me, just like all of us.
That was
In those
dedication, I guess.
early morning thoughts, when you want to get your phones.
Yeah, right. I keep this sign keeps up. Well, it went away. So to heck with it. I may have one more, but the competition is stiff today. Dang,
Well,
Like,
pick your
you
best
guys
one.
have
then.
gotten better as
Yeah.
the afternoon has gone along,
Yeah.
to the point where I'm thinking, wow, it's like, where were you guys 10 years ago? It's like, I don't know why I said that, but anyway, I really don't have much left, but I did have a fourth one.
Okay. Go for it.
The excuse for this poem is that it's very brief and it's very tight and concise. And I'm not even sure exactly what I meant by it in the first place, but I love tight and concise, whether I understand it or not. So here it is. It's called My Mind Defeats Me. My mind defeats me with its incessant fixing, and my ego holds its structure with diamond nano threads, while my soul, with deference to neither, holds sovereignty over both.
Read it again.
Yeah, read that again.
My mind defeats me with its incessant fixing, and my ego holds its structure with diamond nano threads, while my soul, with deference to neither, holds sovereignty over both.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
That's not in your book either, is it? I'll have to look for
It
it.
might be.
Okay. What's the name
Now,
of it?
here's the deal. It could be 100%.
Well, okay, so what's the title you have today?
What I've got on it now is My Mind Defeats Me.
My mind
It's
defeats
the,
me.
it's an old, not a trick, but it's an old process. Sometimes you have a title for a poem, and sometimes you don't. And when you don't, then what you're supposed to do, I guess, is use the first line of the poem so you can identify it. And that's what I did there. I guess I didn't have a better title, so
Yeah, okay. Good, I'll look for it.
Wow. Well, okay, I got a fourth one too. I've never read this one. I've never read this one to you. It's very
I will
short.
never believe either one of you again when you say this is all I got.
Well,
I would say, are you
you'll
sure,
see,
Bobby? Are you sure you don't have another one? And same for
and
you,
you'll
Dale.
see after I read this one to you why I didn't read it to you before. But
Okay.
it came to my mind because I just went on that trip, you know, and saw all of my kids and grandkids,
Yeah.
and I appalled my 15-year-old granddaughter
You
because
appalled
I
her.
was telling. Did I tell you that?
I never heard that used as a verb.
Oh, well, anyway, I forget the word my daughter said, but she was standing behind me. I didn't know she was there. And two of my daughters were in front of me, and one of them said, I was telling them about my neuropathy and arthritis, and she works in a assisted living place, and she said, "Oh, Dad, you gotta start doing these exercises." And I said, "What exercises?" And she was going like this. You got to do this every day, do this. And so I put up both hands and went, this? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, well, I'll ask Carol if she can help me with it. And my granddaughter was right behind me, and she went, oh. And Steph said, you just devastated your granddaughter. And she said, I've just never heard anything like that come from Papa. And Amy said, oh, well, you're going to hear a lot more. I can guarantee it.
So what's the age of your granddaughter?
15.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
My daughters have heard all kinds of stuff from me, but the
Yes,
grandkids
they should know you.
So
a little better.
I told my daughters, I said, well, I got to read you this poem that I wrote. It's very short, but it's called God's Gift to Man. The greatest gift God gave to mankind is a woman's heart. He cleverly placed it directly behind her left breast. Gentlemen, you should check it out sometime.
We should just end the show right there.
Oh, dear.
It's not going to get any better, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a good finale.
Whoa. You guys were cooking today. It's not that I don't mean to say that the other days haven't been terrific, but there are just sometimes people are they're just ready. You guys were ready today, man. I can tell.
Well, the more time we spend together, the more relaxed we are, and the more we're willing to share other things, so that's a good thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I had an idea. I think it was an idea because I typed it out and said idea. So I think it's an idea. But just in terms of maybe trying to get some more people involved in our podcast. And by the way, I think we are probably maybe by the time we do our next well, it's a podcast now. By the time we do our next podcast, I think we're going to be ready to do YouTube, for the simple reason that there's really not, the only thing that you do with these things is you cut it. You find out exactly where you want to start it, whether somebody's been, however you want to start it, and however you want to end it. And that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot more to it. It's not like we got to get better or something like that. Yeah, I would like to have more participation, but I think the three of us are pretty hot, really. You know, if you're interested in poetry, I think this is a nice thing to look at. So now the idea though is kind of like a bit off the wall, but it's I thought, you know, why don't I invite, because there are people who submit poems to me for New Poets Wednesday. I think you've both been on New Poets Wednesday several times. But I've never actually thought about inviting them directly to come on this show and read their poem. You know, as it is now, you got to go on Facebook and you see it, you know, and that's all good. But I mean, you know, if you can submit a poem, you can probably read a poem. And, you know, I think, I just think that's a new wrinkle that I can explore.
Oh, I thought you had done that already, but you haven't, huh? Yeah.
I don't think if I did, I didn't do it like with purpose, you know. I may have mentioned it in passing, but on the other hand, I do forget things that I've done. So I could have, but I'm going to do it again. Okay. So
Well, put them on the email list, you know, blast them.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a bit of the problem, though. In the beginning, I was getting a lot of poems from my writer friend who was teaching creative writing, and they would send me poems, but they didn't have email. They'd send them through him.
Ah.
Some of them didn't even have email addresses. If they did, it was the college email address that they used. And once they left college, you know, it's like so anyway.
Okay.
And certainly, if y'all have any friends or ideas, we would welcome that too. So, that's
Did you
about
talk
it for me.
did you talk to Teresa at rehearsal and tell her she needs to get her butt on here?
I talked to her. Yes. Now, have I talked to her like I should probably talk to her, or I may have to talk to her? No, but that's only because she's slippery, you know? I mean, she comes in, I'm in rehearsal, she slides by me, and I say, we have to talk. She said, yes, we have to talk, you know? And then rehearsal is over, she's gone.
Yeah.
And I thought last Saturday was my day because I thought she was doing a lot of costuming last Saturday, and maybe she did, but she didn't costume me, and she didn't talk to me. And I said, okay, I get it, you're busy, maybe you don't have time for the show, but send me a bloody poem. I'll put it on Facebook, and I haven't gotten that yet. So yeah, there's a I don't want to use that term, but there's a term for a come to meeting.
Jesus meeting.
Yes, yeah. In other words, I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, we need one of those conversations. You know, I just got to look her in the eyes.
Yeah.
Stop jiving me. You know, give me some poems. I know she's got.
I'm gonna send her a text and tell her we're missing her and hope that she can get some free time to join us.
Yeah, sugar. You got to put some honey on there.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, like, but I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. I'm sure Anne will be back. She said there was something about she might be with her daughter and she might not be, and she wasn't 100%. But you know, it's as far as I'm concerned, I'd be happy to do this every 2 weeks. if it's just the three of us, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't. That's not the reason that we haven't gone to YouTube. It really was just ironing a few bugs out and looking at the fact that all we have to do is just have a definitive beginning and a definitive ending, and you know, we're not going to cut anything in the middle. I don't think, you know, but anyway, more on that. What's our time like? Why do I keep asking you? I've got a phone right here in front of me.
It's 3 o'clock right now.
Right on the money. Okay. And there it is. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to find my thing. What is it that I have to say? Oh, see you in 2 weeks. Keep writing.
It's good
It's
for
good
you.
for
It's
you.
good for you. Yeah. There you go. There you go. We'll get that together. You know, we need to sync that up a little bit. I think when I go like that, you guys, you will.
Good for you.
Yeah,
It's
good for you. All right. Thank you so much. I mean, I absolutely adore your work, and I can't wait to see more of it and see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Okay, see
Right.
you in a
See you
couple.
later.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.